name, Siddhartha Blackheart is just one of my names, but I also go by the tribe God Illuminati. Um, you know, um, I'm well versed in this spirituality through experience and formal education. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm ready to get into it.
That's right. That's right. So I'm gonna set it off, man. I'm gonna set it off. I guess I'll start with where the T-shirt came from. It's a T-shirt I created. You can check it out at the BB247 store. And what it says is, fear is another form of slavery. Now, where I want to start with is again the topic of fear. I feel like fear is something that everybody deals with. Man. I feel like it's something that if I had to say a majority of people are having issues in their life right now because of some form of fear in some shape, form, or fashion. And if I had to say for me, it was there when I was young, it was there when I was a kid. But you know how when you're young, how you able to just kind of like push through shit because you're young and it's almost like fear is exciting.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So through the teen
right.
years, all that, it never stopped me. I never looked at it as something that could stop me. But once I got older, once I got to the car accident, once I became disabled, that shit took a that it's like that shit just got kicked into overdrive or something. And
Well, here's the thing. It's almost like it's a learned behavior because when you as a child you have an innocence and you don't have knowledge of. So a lot of times children don't fear things because they don't know to fear it. You know what I'm saying? I believe like it was taught through conditioning, social engineering. It has a lot to do with your upbringing. It has a lot to do with experiences that you have because there's many different forms of fear. Like you could have a fear of failure. You could have a fear of success. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have been conditioned to shit just going wrong all the time. So like you wouldn't even know how to handle it if it went right. It almost becomes an expectation. Like I expect to fail and I'm okay with that because it's a comfortable place for me because I'm familiar with it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we have fear of the unknown. You know what I'm saying? I've experienced having a fear of success because I'm always used to like shit going wrong. Like me not being able to make it, me not being able to finish it. I'm a good starter, but not a good finisher. Just different shit like that. And then it's almost it becomes comfortable to feel because it's so easy. You know what I'm saying? In order to win, like you have to really apply yourself. It has to do with your belief system. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is like, uh, uh, it hurts to be able to not cut it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you may have the fear of pain. You know that pain of losing. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? But I
and that's
feel like
no, I was gonna say that's weird that you hit that shit right on the head. For me, for some reason, man, that fear of success, that's something that is really it's the weirdest thing, man. I can't understand it. I keep asking myself, why in the hell would you fear success?
I,
But
it,
go ahead, go ahead.
it okay. Like if I tell you, I don't want you to be offended, right? Just be open minded. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's it has to do with low self esteem because it's almost as like you feel like you don't deserve it. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
Uh,
I've been through many experiences that had an effect on my self esteem. So like I felt like I didn't deserve the good position. I didn't deserve a certain amount of money. I didn't. But I'm talking about like this shit is in the back of the recesses of your mind. Like, see, you got to realize like a lot of shit goes down subconscious.
man,
You know
I
what I'm talking about?
me
So you may not even be aware of it.
right, right. I think for me, man, the weird part of the fear of success thing was it wasn't more so that I didn't deserve it. It was a fear of the responsibility of,
That too.
you know
That
what I'm
too.
saying? And I always felt like, people gonna try to take advantage of me. Like I just felt, man, we staying on subject. We still talking about fear, but I think something I feel like me and you share in common. Like ever since I was a kid, bro, I felt like what they call it, the sun and burning inside you, the second sun. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? This energy, man. I just felt this energy, man, that made me feel like I could do anything, especially if I saw somebody else do it. If I saw
right.
one person do it, I felt like I could do it. But you're right, in that subconscious,
Well,
it's
the whole thing is you brought up responsibility, and what it is with success, there's a responsibility that you have to adhere to for the maintenance of the success. Because, like, in order to stay winning, you know what I'm talking about? And I had a fear of responsibility because I was immature and I didn't want to be responsible. Response able, the
right.
having the ability
You're
to respond.
right. Real talk. Real talk. Something else that trips me out while we're on the subject. Sometimes I think sometimes I don't sometimes even though I said the statement, fear is another form of slavery. Now I don't know if this gonna make sense. Sometimes when I feel like I'm in my higher mind and I'm able to see that all is, that everything is God and everything is, and what we talked about, quantum entanglement and interconnectedness, then sometimes I look at it and it's like fear is supposed to be. It's just not something that's supposed to control you, but it does serve a function. It does serve a purpose.
Like what it is there is a such thing as a healthy fear. Like I'm not going to jump in front of a moving car. I'm
Right.
not a
Man, yeah.
Russian roulette. I'm not you know
Your body will let you know. Yeah, you'll feel something. It's like a natural mechanism that tell
right,
you, it's like your personal alarm system. But,
exactly.
damn, what thought just hit me? I think over time, how they say that human beings, some scientists say, or biologists, or people in the medical field say that the human body, it's possible that that bad boy could go about 150 years, 130, 150 years. I've even heard
Yeah,
as far as 200. But
right.
how they say,
My great great grandmother reached 98.
oh, that's dope. The story is my great grandmother reached 111 or 18. She didn't have no
Damn.
birth. She didn't have no birth record, so you know what I'm saying. You couldn't even, yeah, you couldn't even
Right,
prove it. But
right.
yeah, what I was gonna say is they say that we've cut our lifestyle down in half cut our lifespan in half because of our lifestyle.
Right.
Because of the
Well,
shit we do.
here's the thing. It's about mind, body, and spirit, right? And what happens is when we get on the physical plane, if we're going to talk about the physical, like there is a hormone called cortisol, right?
Yeah,
It's a stress hormone. It makes you age. It makes your hair turn gray. Like you actually deteriorate because
yeah,
of this hormone. So like the stress of the world, the worry, the anxiety, all that shit has effect on you in addition to the lifestyle as far as like the food, maybe the narcotics, even relationships, like toxic relationships could have effect on you psychologically, emotionally. All this shit is connected. Mind,
believe,
body, and spirit. All this
believe,
shit is connected. So
believe.
it boils down to like your environment, the people that you interact with, the food that you put into your body, shit that you entertain. You know what I'm saying? TV programming can have an effect on you. Like a lot of times, you may buy into this fantasy. I'm watching the Cosbys, right? And they're a black family or whatever, but like I'm not living like that, right? So maybe
That
subconsciously I'm
is
feeling less than because I ain't got the good clothes like the Cosbys. I don't have the mother and the father in the home with siblings and everything's all right and whoop
that
de whoop. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, when we lack the level of awareness, like I said, the subconscious is downloading things constantly. You know what I'm saying? So you have to watch what you put in your body, who you associate with, um, the belief system that you buy into. See, when I watch TV, I'm real clear on the fact like this is entertainment. This shit is scripted. Like this shit. it's really not even going on. Like this is a product of someone else's imagination. So I don't try to live up to those expectations.
Real tough. That's real tough. People do get caught up. That's real tough. I just think I think I don't think fear is necessarily evil. And when I made the statement, I even heard Byron Allen say it, when he was dealing with his court case with Comcast, he made that statement, fear is another form of slavery. Like, damn, this must be something there. But sometimes I rethink it, like I say, when I'm in my higher mind, I'm like, man, just like how I was saying, how we cut like our lifespan in half just by lifestyle. I think lifestyle has like turned all of that shit on a thousand, especially in today's times. Fear, anxiety. I think lifestyle, the internet, social media. There's already research that proves that getting a like on Instagram or Facebook releases dopamine in the brain.
Mhm.
Like
I know a lot
it's
of people addicted to Instagram.
Yeah, straight up, straight up. They say most people in the first 3 minutes they wake up jump on social. First 3 minutes.
Right. Make posts and then they have the expectation, you know what I'm saying, of getting the validation.
Mhm.
There's a feeling of acceptance. There's a status, you know what I'm saying? But see, the whole thing is, again, we're dealing with a lot of times, like to give you an example on social media, like people are only going to show you bits and pieces of their life, and and it it looks a certain way, and it's just an illusion because there are other parts of their life that they just don't show on social media. So they show you certain parts, and then you get this idea. You know what I'm saying? You conjure up this idea of what they're living like, but you're not seeing all the pieces of the puzzle.
Sorry for the interruption. We are back. BP 247. Black pride, black power all day, every day. Now we were talking about the subject of fear, and would you prefer me to address you as trap god?
Either or, it doesn't matter. The now that we're talking about power, you know what I'm saying? What it is I believe that when you have a connection with your higher power, then you are empowered. Then it should eliminate some of the fear because when you have this connection with God, there's a sense of ease and comfort. You're practicing the spiritual principle of faith. Faith and fear can't coexist in the same, you know what I'm saying, in the same thing. You have to have one or the other. You know what I'm saying? If you really believe that uh, God is the perfect planner, everything is by design, you know what I'm saying? Then like there are certain things that like I don't worry. Like put it this way, I'm aware of the fact that there's certain things that I'm powerless over, that there's nothing that I can do about. So I don't worry about it. Why? Because there's nothing I can do about it. And then at the same time, I trust in God. I have faith. Faith is to be exercised, is to be developed like a muscle, and you have to get put in certain situations to even exercise faith. Like if there's no trials and tribulations, if there's no ups and downs, if there's no difficulties, then you wouldn't even be motivated to go to God. If everything was hunky dory and the sun was always shining and everything was all right, like what reason would you have to go to God for? What? Everything's Gucci. Pain is a great motivator. You know what I'm saying? I've been put in a number of different situations where I felt like I was hopeless. I didn't see no way out. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I had faith in my higher power, and through my experience, I've gotten through it. I'm still here. Um, I still have my health. I'm still breathing. I still have the opportunity to live today better than I did yesterday. And those are the signs and symptoms for me as evidence of God because I've been in situations, bro. I should have been gone a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? I should have been dead a long time ago. Um,
Yeah.
I was in situations where I couldn't see any way out. You know what I'm saying? But my God that I believe in is bigger than any of these situations.
Okay, I have a question. I've heard other people some YouTubers have this question, and it's a real simple question, and it kind of hit me hard. Do you think a problem that's going on with today's society, these millennials and all of that, do you think one of the issues could be godlessness?
I believe that it's ego edging God out. A lot of people don't want to rely on something that one they can't see, touch, taste, or feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then and it's this independent thing. See the ego edging God out. Like I have this belief system that I can do it myself and I can make it happen and this and that. But I believe that everything begins and ends with the Creator. I'm real clear. You know what I'm saying about my higher power, and my higher power is omnipresent, omnipotent. Um, my
think
I have the belief that God is either everything or nothing at all. Like which one is he? You know
mm,
what I'm saying? There's no straddling the fence with this one. There's no gray area.
and I feel you on that. Because I can honestly, full disclosure, I can honestly say, when it comes to spirituality, religions, we go back a long way. So I've been all over the place with it, just searching, man. My intent is to look for the truth, or something I've been interested in since I was a child. But I ain't gonna lie, from dealing with the Bible to the Quran to me trying to read the Bhagavad Gita to me reading Old Path White Cloud so I can try to understand some Buddhist principles. The Kemetic spiritual systems. It did after a while. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have that moment of which route do you want to go. And then I started incorporating a lot of science, into my thinking. And I can say, man, I can say with honesty, as much as I love science, I think I got to admit that it was at that time where it kind of pulled me away from spirituality. And shit started getting dark, man. Shit started getting real dark. So I,
Uh,
I, I was going through this phase where I kept telling my wife, maybe I feel like I need fellowship. I need fellowship with some like-minded people of, of a practice. Because for me, like, I don't know, where so I guess I need to just say it. Like, I don't know what name to go by, or what is there a one path, or like, I really can't say I have a definitive answer on that. I just know that I am a part of something great, and I know it's more to this existence than what I see. But I think a
well,
lot of people are having that
you,
issue.
you
And
you need to go inward. You need to go inward and find out what resonates with your spirit, bro. You know what I'm saying? That the spirit of discernment. You know what I'm saying? Because like bullshit when you hear it. We talked about some shit in the Bible, and you was like, "That's a petty deity."
yeah, I don't understand some of that stuff. And, it don't line up with what you just said. Omnibenevolent, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. Sometimes a lot of that stuff don't add up. And then sometimes people will say, well, you taking it too literal. And then they'll turn right around and say, well, you're supposed to, take it literal, exactly as the scriptures say. It just gets to, do I use the mind that God gave me, or, you know what I'm saying? Or do I let the books and the people, tell? And it sounds like, you
Well,
can correct me, it sounds like what you're saying is, because that's the way I've always felt, is that I feel like God made me just like he made the preacher, just like he made the disciples or prophets or anybody else. And I
well,
just can't understand why God
the
would speak to
the
him and
the,
him and not me.
the dangerous that's why I always try to highlight the spiritual aspect because the brain can be programmed.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we know about programming since birth. So like, you know what I'm saying? when you go within the spirit, it's pure. You know what I'm saying? The mind has been contaminated, bro. We've been exposed to influences. We've adopted belief systems. We've been conditioned. There's social engineering. There's all this stuff that could. So like, I can only trust my brain to a certain extent, and then at the same time, like, there are things in and of this world that like my brain doesn't have the capacity to grasp or conceive. You know what I'm saying? But my spirit is infinite. My spirit is, for me, the spirituality is more powerful than the mind. To me, more powerful than the mind.
Hearing.
I believe.
So I think we just take. I think it's time to just take. So feel the aspects to power, which to read say fear, say has power. A lot of things has power. Talk about the individual going in or personal power. You
You're
really.
breaking up. You're breaking up. You going
Uh-oh.
in and out. Okay. Yeah. Get closer to the mic. Yeah.
Okay, that
Mm,
worked. My
yeah.
bad. I was saying now, why don't we go ahead and just uh hmm, I don't know, maybe tell a little bit, like you say, about us, about ourselves, because this is our first podcast together. So
Right.
we did give introductions. I don't know if this seems out of order to the viewing public, but again, I'm your brother Insight. I'm from California, born and raised in LA, Los Angeles. Uh, I'm a musician by trade. To me, I'm a lyricist by trade. That's what craft I'm in. Regardless of all the interests that I have, that's what I do. I make music. And now older and going into the realm of using that same level of word source and putting that into videos and podcasts. And I want to share it with my people for the purpose of growth, of learning. And that's pretty much a basic thing. Uh, I became disabled when I was 17 from a car accident, and that was is still one of the most difficult things I deal with. You know,
Let me stop you. Let me stop you right there because words are powerful, and then it has to do with your beliefs. See, when you're saying disabled, it implies that
yeah,
you can't. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say physically challenged.
okay, yeah, that's the change so much. Yeah, it went from man retarded to physically challenged to disabled. Yeah, handicapped. The titles titles changed. I was just saying it for the purpose of what people could relate to. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
Well, at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Because that shit has an impact. Words, there are power in words.
you're
You
right
know what I'm
though.
saying?
You're right.
So
You're right.
you really got to watch what you say. Um,
You're right. You're right. You're
and
right.
it's all about perception too. You know what I'm saying? Do you perceive yourself as being disabled? Like, listen to that word, bro.
Right.
And do you feel like that applies to you?
I really don't. Like I say, it's just a word for the purposes, I guess, so people can relate. But no, I don't.
Right.
Uh, and that again, now that you said that, that just sometimes make it even harder because I don't see myself that way, but I'm confronted with it.
Well, I
You know,
mean, at the same time, like, you have to put it in its proper perspective because I know you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like where you lack in one area, you were enhanced in the other. You
I
know what I'm saying?
I hear
So,
you.
I mean, you got to look at the gift. Don't, focus on the curse. I mean, the whole balance, the whole universe is based off of negativity and positivity. Like, there, what would be one without the other? And we're all unique individuals. We all have different talents. You know what I'm saying? Different personalities. Like, I believe, like, if your life went any other way, like, you wouldn't be who you are. You know what I'm saying? And when you begin to love yourself, you know what I'm saying? Love God, trust God, um, um, have gratitude. You know what I'm saying? Like gratitude outweighs a lot of shit, a lot of the bullshit, a lot of the negative shit, a lot of doubt, a lot of self pity, a lot of those type of negative things. Gratitude is big. I'm grateful for having have woken up today because like somebody didn't wake up today. You know what I'm
That's
saying? I'm grateful because I have another chance at life to do it better than I did yesterday. Um, I believe the only limitations there are the ones that we put on ourselves. I believe like we
that's
talked
it.
about the power of the spirit. Let's talk about the mind. The mind is like, I mean, bro, we have the ability to meditate, we have astral project, travel. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And that shit outweighs whether I have a problem with walking or an issue. You know what I'm talking about? Because like I'm not immobile. You know what I'm talking about? You get around.
And it's
It
kind of
may be
it's
in a
kind of
different way.
in this just to bring up this point in the I consider myself part of the what they call the black conscious community. I love the content, brothers like the
Right.
like Side Inky, I'm in Rock Squad. I watch that shit all day, every day. But I am noticing, man, that it's getting to a point where you can't mention not one spiritual principle without being called pseudo or a cat talking to you. Yeah, like you
Hold on,
crazy.
hold on. Here,
You me, man.
I, I
I mean, I'm not
I've
gonna say
had
it's the next
I,
person, but I think they take it
I
too far.
well, the whole thing is it's a tricky situation when you're dealing with these books and information because a lot of these books written by men. You know what I'm talking about, and
Yeah, shit.
right, and motherfuckers have their own belief system. Motherfuckers have their own reasons of why they said what. A lot of times, a religion was used to control people.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So when you get into the spirituality, bro, I go inward. You know what I'm talking about? It's the language of the heart. Um, it's something. It's something that can't be written or read. You know what I'm saying? It can only be felt. You know what I'm saying? I've had experiences where I've had contact with my ancestors, other beings. You know what I'm saying? And I've had
that's
an experience with 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 uh the universal mind, the universal one, the one mind of the universe. You know, as a collective. You know that higher power and the things that are in these other books like didn't even come into play.
right. I know what you mean. It's like it does, but at the same, that's how it feels to me. It's like it does, but you know,
I believe what Dr. Malachi Z. York said when he said this shit was put here to deter you and confuse you and separate you from God. And to tell you the truth, because like what denomination and what weighing sins and that never came when I experienced God, like none of that came into play. Like God knows everything, so why would He be weighing my sin? That don't even make sense.
it don't. It really don't. It really don't. It really don't. And I noticed that people that's what I mean when I was telling you how people sometimes will tell you, oh, it's just allegory, it's just a story. Then in the next breath, they like, no, all of that is actually literal, but it don't make common sense. It don't
Right,
make practical sense. And I always tell people, man, I feel something in me. Like that's the most I have to go by. I feel something that I can't explain. And I
right.
love science. You know what I'm saying? I understand biological evolution, chemical evolution. I understand a little bit about physics. I love the concepts and the theories, but it don't explain everything. And I
Right.
don't know why anybody would take it that way. And we ain't even left the damn planet.
Well, the whole thing is like they don't even have words for some things that exist.
Right.
So you already know. Yeah, come on, bro. You're just getting a piece of the puzzle. And it ain't even the centerpiece. It's like one of the corner pieces.
I hear people talk about different concepts. We in the same gear, but I'm switching gear. For those of y'all, bear with me, bear with us. It's me. My brother's doing an excellent job, but bear with me. I'm a budding journalist, and I'm learning. Shit just popped in my head. And I think it's interesting. So now it sounds to me like it sounds to me what I'm getting is you had extra dimensional experiences, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You stepped outside of this realm
Mm-hmm.
and had some. Now, some people will call that another dimension. Some people will call it the spirit realm. Some people call it heaven. Did it feel like any of those things to you when you had your experience?
I'll put it to you this way: all the descriptions that have been used to describe heaven, it that's an understatement compared to my experience. There are no words. It, it, if I was to put it into words, it would shortchange the conversation. Um, it's indescribable, phenomenal. It's something that going back to the spirit that can be felt. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that there are any words that I could use to articulate this shit accurately. Because number one, the spirit, the experience was out of this world. It wasn't of this world. So like, how would I be able to use something from this world to describe or compare it to?
I hear know these concepts for some people. It's totally it's just hard. And I haven't even had no experiences like that. I'm just, for me, I'm under the mind of, first of all, I know you. I know you, and I ain't never known you when we was being real with each other and doing our thing. I ain't never known you to be, bullshit or bullshit me or speak with a filter or put extras on it for the sake of putting extras on it because it make a good story. Like, I ain't never known that to be you. I just say that I've never had that experience, but I know it's more than what's going on. But a lot of people, man, are probably, someone's going to watch this and say, okay, here they go,
Well,
extra dimensions.
the whole thing is, um, God is, from my experience, God is so big that like you can't put him in a box. You can't understand how he works. You can't even fathom. You know what I'm saying? So like different things happen to different people for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? I believe that there's a grand design. You know what I'm saying? That we can't even attempt to understand. It's way too much going on. You know what I'm saying? It's different people, different personalities, different situations, different circumstances. You know what I'm saying? And what it might take for you might not. I might not need that. You know what I'm
Real,
saying? So like, you
um,
haven't had the experience yet. Maybe you don't need it.
somebody
Um,
had one. Somebody told me, I told you that before, brother, big brother Rob. What's up, brother Rob? We were talking about experiences, experiencing miracles, and I'm like, man, why that stuff don't
it,
happen to me? And
you
just
gotta
don't.
understand. You gotta understand that your brain has the capacity. Because I know you. Your brain has the capacity to go where the average can't even. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. They don't have the ability. They just can't. You know
I
what I'm
know,
talking about? I remember you back in the day, bro. I mean, being well versed in spirituality. You know what I'm saying? You were an avid reader. You know what I'm saying? You were a seeker of information.
man.
Like,
You know,
I could actually see the way your thought process and the way you process information different than other people. You know what I'm saying? You're a unique individual. I don't want to go get too far
yeah, all
out
you gotta
there, but like,
know
they're
how to.
like, not everybody's not human. There are a number of beings here, and when they say mankind, they're talking about a kind of man. There are various different kinds of men. Um, It's yeah. We'll save that for another segment. But
I told you I always found that interesting that Zulu tribe, according to their origin story, say that this planet produced 5 or 26 intelligent species other than man. And it's an old oral history. I always found that hella interesting. And they even, talked about, and like I know, it's a bad, scary word. They're gonna tell us we pseudo now. But they even mentioned what they call the Chitauri, what most people call reptilians.
right.
The bugged out thing is this is the Zulus' oral history, and they claim they don't even know how long go back, how long they've been telling the story.
Hmm.
When some things it's like for me, like so I definitely don't believe everything, every whim of the wind, but some things it's like when you're dealing with bush people with the bush, and they start telling you shit that they seemingly should not know nothing about.
Hmm.
Like that gets kind of weird to me. That gets kind of like, okay, what's going on? You know, you got them telling the story. You got people around the world telling this, story about these beings. Like you say, man, I don't even know how to word it, man. I don't even know how to. Damn, you're right. It is beyond words. I don't even know how to word it. All I know
Hmm.
is people that have experiences, man. Unless you in their mind, you can't tell them their mind.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I've always felt like it's a big universe, man, and I think it's kind of arrogant to think that we only life in it. And
Hmm.
then I think that our definition of life needs to change. All we know is all we know is life as we know it. So you start talking about anything outside of life as we know it, if your brain can even do that, then yeah, it's gonna sound crazy. But it seems like we're coming into a time. They have imagery now for fifth dimensional all the way up to 10-dimensional cubes. When before we were saying that shit was inconceivable. Well, we got computers and we can see even that shit now. So it's gonna be interesting, man, to see, you know, when that real, I guess, evidence hit everybody. Because like I told you, man, I don't even know if I really want to even have the experience. Everybody want to act tough when they talk about it all. Yeah, if that's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, if that shit happened, something came down. When the more I think about it, it's like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know if I could really handle an experience like that. And that's probably another reason why it ain't for everybody.
Right. Well, I mean,
Oh,
it's we'll get deeper into it. You know what I'm saying as we go on with other segments because I don't want to just hit them with too much in the very beginning. We got to build up to it. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I don't want to jump too far ahead because we already advanced. Uh,
I got you. I got
already. Right, you know what I'm saying. You got to understand, like you got to spoon feed them, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of this shit is hard to digest. You know what
you.
I'm saying? But
Real,
it's a
real.
new. They're talking about the age of Aquarius. A lot of people are becoming more conscious. The belief systems are changing. You know what I'm saying? We're going through a transformation. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
real.
saying? And
And everything's playing a part, man. It's weird. The internet is affecting the way people think.
is by design. It's by design.
Like you said, that's another topic. That's another topic. So
Right, right.
man, so you wanna cut this one right here, man?
Yeah, yeah,
All right, we're
yeah.
gonna cut this one right here. Let me go and try to do a little, I guess, a little sort of an outro. I want to thank people for watching. Anybody that watches this, I want to thank you for watching. As I always say, I really, really hope more than anything that somebody will get something beneficial out of something that said, on this platform. So that is the goal. That's all I really care about. I'm your brother Insight. Don't forget to check out bp247.myshopify.com and get that Fear is Another Form of Slavery shirt, man. I also got a whole bunch of other fly stuff. And yeah, I want y'all to stay tuned. Um, Big Darty, Trap God. Anything you want to say to take the people out?
Um, m- the only thing I would want to say is use the open mindedness is a spiritual principle. You have to have an open mind, and you can't grasp a new concept on a closed mind. So I mean, you got to find it within yourself. You know what I'm saying? To eliminate like these limitations and boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Because all that does is keep you basically in prison. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get outside of the box. It's time to deprogram the programming. It's time to you know what I'm saying, broaden our spirituality. It's time to raise our IQ. It's time to have a different level of awareness and consciousness. And not only that, but emotional literacy is important too. Um,
I think you said it best, man. I think that was your words. I think you said it best. It's an inside job,
right, right, right. Absolutely, absolutely.
man. That's it. I think we did a damn good job, brother. Hey, I think you on to something, man. You built for this shit. I think
Right,
I think you on for something, buddy. So yeah, so I'm gonna get my interviewing skills because I see I got a job to do. We on to something right here, baby.
right,
So
right.
again, thank everybody. If you like to think and if you like to learn and be informed, check us out. Rock with us. Check us out. BP 247. Trap
Right.
Illuminati. Insight. We out of here, y'all.